President Bob Aston, chairman of Towne Bank, sat down with us last week. The president was serious, sincere, honest. Before the cameras start rolling, sir, I must say that is a very lovely suit.
It's got 3 buttons on it.
Yes, Mr. President, it certainly does.
Well, that pokes like that. That doesn't poke.
Do the buttons have some significance, sir?
I don't know.
Well, why don't we get started? Are we rolling? Mr. President, first of all, thank you for inviting us into one of your prestigious and beautiful banking facilities. Everyone knows of the exquisite care and quality of the facilities, and that the people who work here are some of the sharpest, most aware, courteous people in the business. You run a pretty tight ship, don't you?
Okay.
Sir, this has been a very sobering time for our economy, our nation, and our world. And certainly a thoughtful and deeply sensitive man like yourself is moved by all of the impact that this is having on the little people.
I'm just kidding.
So you are concerned for the little people?
No, not exactly.
Well, then maybe it's the overall state our nation is in. Personally, sir, what is it that matters most to President Bob Aston?
Big money.
Big money.
Big money.
So what matters most to you is...
Big money.
Mr. President, with all the banking bailouts and the AIG bailout, and now we're hearing about how so much of this money has gone to big executives in these organizations, how do you feel about this?
We spend a lot of money.
Well, let me guess, sir. Big money?
It's certainly an important part of what we're all about.
But clearly you would draw a distinction between the actions of a despicable AIG and a Towne bank.
You know, we're the small guy, not the big guy.
But in terms of hurting anyone, you would never behave in a despicable, questionable manner that would ever hurt your customers, even if you knew it would put big money in your pocket. Isn't that right, sir?
Well, I guess maybe that's your opinion.
Let's change the subject. Mr. President, the Towne Bank brand is most famous for building friendships and relationships with its customers. What are those relationships all about?
Big money.
Surely you jest. Towne Bank is no small influence in this community, sir. You've grown quite big. I have to believe, sir, that you deeply care about what's going on with your customers.
The bigger the banks get, the smaller the customer gets.
But these customers are people that you care about, aren't they?
No. We never refer to people as customers.
That's right. I remember you once told me that, I wrote it down here, you never call your customers customers. You refer to them as members because they are to be treated like members of a family. You really are a sensitive man, aren't you, Mr. President? Do you remember telling me that?
I don't know what the hell we said.
Sir, you're regarded as one of the most knowledgeable businessmen in town. When you hear that deep in your heart, what does that mean to you?
It's tremendous wealth and big money.
We all know that you truly care about your customers. And while other banks have made questionable loans, we know that you and Towne Bank have made wiser decisions. What is the philosophy that you adhere to?
Cut and run at the first sign of trouble.
Sir, we all know that what happens on the national global level typically finds its way to the local level. Here in our local community, who are the people who are most responsible for the financial stress that we're feeling? If you had to name names, could you? Would you?
Herb Hamlet over in Chesapeake, Morgan Davis and Dawn Glenn in Portsmouth, Hank Kellum and Gordon Huey at Virginia Beach, Jim Bradner and Vic Roach over in Chesapeake, Danny Plant in Portsmouth, and Jackie Amato and Helen Green and Nancy Cannon and all those that sort of run the inside of our mortgage operation.
You mentioned Morgan Davis. Mr. Davis has been singled out as a key figure in banking deregulation. What can you tell us about him?
He's also a great entertainer and piano player.
And the reason he went into banking instead of music?
Big money.
Of course. Sir, Towne Bank has brilliantly managed to avoid the financial meltdown that so many other banks and businesses have had to face. How have you done this?
Mostly on my own. I'm just kidding.
What will you do if this crisis does hit your bank? How will Towne Bank protect its members in this slippery economy?
Cut and run at the first sign of trouble.
Mr. President, while the nation holds its breath, waiting for you and your Towne Bank officers to focus on this problem, and I'm sure this keeps you awake at night, where will you be putting your attention?
I'd probably be coaching my basketball team or football team or something.
Thank you, sir, for your time.